Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome, folks. Today, the Hungry Gamer is back with another crowdfunding preview, and today we are talking about Witchcraft. And this is a game that is currently on GameFound right now, and Michael Kelly was nice enough to send me his copy of the prototype because I was curious about it. So I got to check it out. It arrived today. I spent all afternoon playing this game, and here I am with some basic thoughts for you on the game. Now, what this game is this takes place in a fictional town that is similar to Salem and the Salem witch trials. However, what's happening here is you are playing the witches of the coven that are doing their best to stop the evil. However, the town is understandably nervous about witches, and your goal is to stop the evil from happening while convincing them that you are not to blame for the bad things that are going on. And if you can do that, you will win. Before I go any further, I do need to point out that everything you see here is still technically in the prototype phase and is subject to change. And also, please do turn on your Klingon subtitles, because if I make any mistakes in the rules overview, that is where you will find those corrections. And the way that this game is going to work is very similar to the game Resist, which was quite popular last year and from the same company. And so what's going to happen is you're going to be going through your hand of cards, which are your witches in your coven, and you'll be playing them either on their hidden side or their more powerful revealed side. However, if you reveal yourself, then that particular witch is going to be put into prison, and you will not have access to them anymore. But they will be more likely to help you solve whatever problem you're out trying to solve is. Now, if you are not interested in how this game is played and just want to jump into my final thoughts, then you want to go to the timestamp on the screen right now. For those of us still here, let's talk briefly about how this game is played. So what's going to happen is you are going to pick 3 villagers that are going to be the jury. And as you can see, I have my 3 here, and each one of them comes with a certain set of cards, challenges that you're going to add to the challenge deck, and 3 different missions or problems that you will have to overcome. And each of the missions and problems are divided into 3 different acts. And what's going to happen is you will take all of the witches and you will do a draft. And you'll put 2 out, pick the one that you want, and then the other will go back here into the recruitment deck. And that's pretty much the setup. The last thing is each one of these missions has a certain number of challenge cards that will be placed out to go along with it. And when you choose to try to accomplish that mission, you will have to deal with those challenge cards in addition to the main card right up there. So I'll just kind of walk through a turn, which should give you a good idea of how the game's played. So you start out by drawing 5 cards, and you will play those in your hand. Now, sometimes you're going to wind up with curses in your hand. A curse is just a dead card that's going to clog up your hand. And if you ever have a hand completely filled with curses, or you can no longer add a curse to your deck because they're all gone, you lose the game. You're also going to lose the game if you ever have 5 dead villagers. So in this case, I have these 5 witches here. And each of these witches has their own family name, and the witches of the same family name will coordinate with each other in some way. So as you're kind of building up your witch deck, you might try to build up based on the family names if you can. The next thing I do is I had to pick which of these missions I want to try to accomplish, and just for sake of argument, we'll say we're going to try to save the village grain supply. So I would flip these 4 cards over here, which are the challenges I have to deal with. And what we're looking at here is I need to get 5 strength to accomplish the main quest. With 3 strength, I can get this owl familiar. 2 strength allows me to defeat the plague rats, 4 strength allows me to defeat the nixies, and 1 strength allows me to defeat the evil witch. Now what matters here is on the failure, something bad's going to happen with these. On success, I'll get to take the familiar. And if I succeed at the main mission, I'll get 2 things. 1, I'll get a bonus, in this case, extra card on the next round. But the second thing is, over here, I'm going to get persuasion on these jurors right here. And so if I succeed on this, the juror Lynn, which matches that symbol, I could up her persuasion by 2. Or I could up either of the other 2's persuasion by 1. So as I look at my cards here, I have all of this different strength. So Genevieve here is worth 1 strength if I keep her hidden, but 2 strength if I reveal her. However, if I have any curses in my hand, her strength increases exponentially. In this case, we'll just say I'm going to keep her as is, and that's going to be 1 strength. I'm going to use her 1 strength to defeat this evil witch right there. Then, just for sake of argument, and this is not necessarily how I would do this, I'm just doing this quickly, I'm going to reveal Phyllis, and she's going to be worth 4 strength while revealed, though she will then go out of the game. So I'm going to use her 4 strength, and I'm going to defeat the Nixies here. Now, in my hand, I have 3 witches left. And so what I think I'm going to do, and again, it's not necessarily how I would do it, I'm going to reveal Catherine Kent. And she's going to give me 3 strength for being revealed, plus 1 more for every curse in the curse pile, which is currently 3. So by letting her get caught and go to prison, I'm going to have a 6 more strength. And I'm going to use that 6 strength plus an unrevealed Norma here for a total of 7 strength to defeat these plague rats and accomplish this goal right here. And that would give me 2 strength, and I'm going to put that on Lynn here. My 2 persuasion, I'd say. On Lynn there, and I'll get to draw an extra card next turn. Then I am left over with this 1 right. Oh, and also, by keeping her hidden, I get to uncover all the challenges of 1 mission. So I'm just going to flip over all of these right here. And now I can see what it is that I'm dealing with over there before I actually go there, like so. And that leaves me with 1 witch left and 2 strength. There's nothing I can do with that, so I'm just going to discard the owl and be done with that. And then this one would get discarded, and I would replace it with a new one, and it tells me how many cards I get. Now, if I were to have failed this, it might have a failed condition, but then I would turn it over face down, and that slot would never fill up again the rest of the game. If you ever fail 2 missions, then you have lost the game. Now, some of those challenge cards might, as I said, kill villagers if you fail to do them. They might give you curses. They might make you lose one of your witches, and so on and so on. Or they might give you rewards. Then, at the end of any round, if you want, you can go to trial. And what that's going to do is, you're going to compare wherever your persuasions ended up, and I'm just going to pick some things here, and we're just going to say that we got Angel all the way up to 10, Lynn is hanging out at 8, and Putnam is hanging out at 7. And what's going to happen is you're going to flip their 2 cards, and that is how high you needed to get. So in this case, it's 2, 5 for a total of 7. That means Angel was persuaded to let all the witches go. Then here we have 3 and 1. So also Lynn has been persuaded. And then Putnam, we have a 3 and a 5 for a total of 8. He is at persuasion of 7, so he was not convinced. So that would have given me a minor victory in the game. And that's pretty much how the game works. So what do I like about this game? First off, I am a huge fan of solo-only games. If I can put it in a pocket of my backpack, carry it easily, and play it in an area that's not a lot of space. Now, this one takes up a little more space than you might think when you look at the size of the components, but this fits that description, and that I always enjoy. The next thing is, I like the challenge of it. This game is hard. Like, it is really hard. Now, that said, I've only played about 5 times. Yes, I got it today and played 5 times. And I've never gotten better than 2 out of 3 of the jurors to vote for me. But it always feels like you could possibly win. Now, I am going to talk a little bit more about that later on in this, but it always feels like you could win, and the challenge is very exciting. But I think the core of why people like this game and why people liked Resist is the core mechanic of the cards. How not only does each card have a power that it activates when you use it, but the ability to have that once per game reveal something way more powerful, but you're going to lose that card, makes every single turn exciting and challenging. It's very hard to decide, do I just want to take my lumps now and get some minuses, but keep this card for later, or do I want to just burn it all now and see what's going to happen? That choice does not get easier. Almost ever. And that is awesome. That is the sign, I think, of a really, really good solo game. The next thing is, I like how the cards kind of synergize. So as you're drafting your deck, as you're building your deck, you can focus on one or two families, because if you can get a lot of those family cards in your hand, they work together really, really well. And it's really satisfying to be able to play those cards together and kind of see what kind of combos you're able to build. The next thing is, the sheer variety that you have in the game, I think, is very good. You're only ever going to play with 3 of those jurors, and each one of those jurors comes with their own set of, I think, 5 or 8 challenge cards, and then 3 main missions. And so just by changing one of them out, you have a big difference in how the game is going to play and what you're going to be dealing with, the type of things that you're going to see. But at the same time, it doesn't change it out so much that you have to relearn a bunch of things. So I think there's a wonderful, wonderful balance that is struck there in this game. The next thing is, I got 2 more things to say that I particularly enjoy about this, is I do like the art. I like the way it looks. Both sides of the witch and all of that, I just think is really, really cool. But what gets me the most is I like the theme behind it. And if you know me, and if you have watched enough of my stuff, you know that I don't like historical games. And I don't like them. I mean, if it's Rome, sure. I'll do Rome. It can go back far enough and sure, then okay. But historical games have 2 things for me. One, I often feel like I don't like that I'm playing a character that might have been real and somebody alive today. It might be their ancestor. Or I'm playing a real character that was a monster. I'm playing a Nazi. And for me, I don't like that. And for that reason, I haven't played a lot of games that David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin have done. Simply because I don't want to play historical games. Now, I did play For What Remains, and I'm giving that to my brother. That's a cool game, and I enjoyed that a lot. So I always kind of wish I could play more war games, but it's always historical, and I'm just not feeling it. And that's why I didn't go for Resist, even though that was not a major historical event, and it's an interesting historical event. It was still historical, I don't dig it. But this is not. This is in the world of like the Salem Witch Trials, and it works for me. And so I feel like I can jump in, and I don't have to feel bad about myself in any way, shape, or form, unless I lose and either let the town be destroyed or let these witches who are doing good things get locked up forever. So I really like all that. So what are my quibbles with the game? It's hard. And I do wonder, on the very first, far more, and again, I've only played 6 times, but 5 out of the 6 times I've played, the very first mission I failed. And it might just be because I'm bad, but it also might be the game's just really, really hard when you're starting out. And so it can feel frustrating a little bit to me. And again, this might just be I'm bad at games, but to know that, yeah, I have 3 missions and I can fail 2, but really I got 2 missions and I can fail 1, and I'm going to start out and pick the one that I'm going to fail. Now, it might be as I play more and more, I get better and better and I figure out the balance. But having played 6 times, I feel like I've played a lot. And then my only other quibble that I really have is, though all the witches synergize in interesting ways, and though all the witches do cool things, I wonder if after I played this game 20 times, I'm not going to say, gosh, I wish I had more witches. Now, I heard what I said, and said after I play the game 20 times, there are so few games in my collection that I have played 20 times, and this is a €20 game. It probably doesn't matter. But I do know how much people care about replay. Is there infinite replay? I don't know that there's infinite replay. There is a little kind of campaign story scenario thing that you can go through, which freshens it up too. So, I mean, it doesn't have infinite replayability, but I feel like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here. So it doesn't have infinite replayability, and I know some people really care about infinite replayability. It doesn't have that. But really, that's it, folks. I think in the realm of solo games, I think you can't do much better than this. It's relatively quick. It's very, very challenging in the best ways. It has a lot of variety that you can bake into it, that you can use. I don't know. I think this is a top-notch solo-only game. So if you're into solo games, then you should probably be backing this. So, as always, if I made any mistakes in the rules overview, please let me know in the comments with the timestamp so I can get that into the Klingon subtitles. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, maybe become a channel member. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.